Okay, now let's say we add a null byte in here. The printf would start at the address of h, it prints the h, then it gets to the e, and it reaches the null byte. It decides that this is the end of the string. So if we just compile it again in here and execute the strings, we get he and printed on the screen. Now let me just remove this null byte in here, and what we are going to do is to print, instead of from h to the rest, we want to print from e. So in here what I could say is to say +1, but this +1 in here does is that this one also would be another address 1 byte after the address of h. Therefore this pointer is pointing to the e character, and printf would start printing from e to the end of the array until it reaches the null byte. Since it is 6 bytes, we said that a null byte would be added at the end. Therefore we would have ELLO on the output. Now let's say that we want to print the h in here. What we could say, and actually we learned it before, is that a is the address of the h element, right? If we want to see the content saved in this address, we dereference it by putting a star before that, but also we change the s in here, because we only if we don't do this, we get an error, a segmentation fault. What we could say is to, for example, say c, because it's just one character, so we would have h on the screen. As you see, we only have h. Now if you want to have e character and only e printed on the screen, we just easily say a +1, and we dereference it, because a +1 is pointing to e in here, and when we dereference it, we get the content of e. Of course, we could print it in decimal, which prints the ASCII equivalent in the decimal format. So exit and execute it, and we have e. Now what this seems like is that when we wanted to work with arrays, we could just say, well, a is the array, right? If I want to get the a is the array, if I want to get the e is the second element, or at the index of 1, so I say a with the index of 1. If we compile it and execute it, you see we get the same thing. What it means is that the compiler translates the a with the index of 1 to this. Actually it says, well, the index of 1, I say a +1 and then dereference it. Or if we say a with the index of 0 in here, it would just convert it to exactly a star and then a. They are the same thing. Or let's say that we want to get the a with the index of 3. It's the same as a +3 and then a star in here. So I would just say a +3 in here, and a with the index of 3, we get the same thing as you see in here.